All right, everybody, buckle up, because today we are diving headfirst into the world of cybersecurity.
Diving. I'd say more like infiltrating, going undercover.
Okay, you got me there. We're going deep undercover into the world of cybersecurity's blue team.
The defenders, the silent guardians of the digital world.
Exactly. And we've got our hands on some seriously cool intel, a real training document, straight from the cybersecurity pros at Lighthouse Labs.
The same Lighthouse Labs that train some of the best cybersecurity talent out there. This isn't theoretical, folks. This is the real deal.
100%. And today's mission, should we choose to accept it, is to crack the code on one of the most critical but often overlooked aspects of cybersecurity: shift changes.
Ah, yes, the changing of the guard. But remember, in cybersecurity, the guard never fully stands down.
Right. The threats are relentless. So how do these blue teams, working around the clock, ensure that there's never a gap in protection when one shift hands off to the next?
That's the million-dollar question, and that's what we are going to unpack today.
And let me tell you, this training document does not disappoint. It's like stepping into a security operations center, SOC as they call it.
Imagine a room buzzing with activity, walls of monitors displaying real-time data, and analysts analyzing threats 204/7. That's a SOC.
Intense.
Yeah.
So our training document drops us right into the thick of it, following a new blue team analyst as they navigate the challenges of, well, just doing their job, right?
Right, but remember, their job isn't your typical 9 to 5. This is high-stakes, high-pressure work where even a small mistake could have major consequences.
Exactly. So they're monitoring systems, responding to alerts, putting out fires left and right,
Everything from a suspicious email to a full-blown malware attack,
and then bam, shift change. Time for the next team to take over.
which is where things get really interesting because you can't just leave a sticky note on the computer saying back in 15.
Definitely not. This isn't some casual, how was your day kind of handover.
Yeah.
We're talking about mission-critical information, status updates on active threats, potential vulnerabilities.
You need a system. And not just any system, a structured, foolproof system that ensures nothing slips through the cracks.
And that's where seat swap comes in.
Seat swap. The bread and butter of a seamless shift change.
Okay, so it sounds like some kind of top secret code. What does it actually stand for?
Think of it like this. SEAT, that's your first step. It stands for Staff, Explanation, Awareness, and Transition. It's about getting everyone on the same page right off the bat.
Makes sense. Who needs to be looped in? What's happening right now? What's the plan of attack?
Exactly. And then you have SWAP, which is all about the information itself. Situation, written, accurate, persistent.
So it's not just a quick chat at the water cooler. They're creating actual documentation.
Absolutely. A detailed report, almost like a relay race baton, packed with all the critical intel that gets passed from one shift to the next.
And this report, it's not just scribbled on a napkin, is it?
Not a chance. The training document actually gives us a sneak peek at the structure. It's incredibly organized. You've got your high-level overview, which is basically like, red alert, this server's acting super suspicious, or that phishing campaign we've been tracking, we've got 5 new potential victims.
Oh, wow. So it sounds like things can escalate pretty quickly.
In cybersecurity, you bet. And that's why this report is so important. It ensures everyone is always working with the most up-to-date information. But it's not just about the high-level stuff. There are also individual, super detailed reports for each ongoing incident.
So they're not just reading a laundry list of problems. They're getting the full context. How do they even wrap their heads around all that information, though?
Well, that's where things get even more, dare I say, elegant. They use the CIA triad to categorize and prioritize each incident.
CIA triad. Okay, now you're just messing with me. Is that a kind of spy thriller reference?
Not this time. It stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. It's a fundamental framework in cybersecurity. So, has sensitive data been leaked? That's a confidentiality issue. Has data been tampered with or corrupted? That's integrity. Is a system down, preventing users from accessing critical services? That's availability.
Ah, I see. So by viewing each incident through that lens, the blue team can quickly assess the potential impact and prioritize their response accordingly.
Precisely. They're not just reacting to whatever pops up first, they're strategically addressing the most critical threats.
Okay, so they've got all this information, they've prioritized the threats, but how do they actually know what to do about it?
Excellent question. And the answer, my friend, is playbooks.
Playbooks. Are we talking about like sports strategies? What do those have to do with cybersecurity?
Not quite the same playbook, but the idea is similar. Imagine a cookbook, but instead of recipes for delicious meals, It's filled with step-by-step instructions on how to handle different cybersecurity incidents.
Ah, so it's like if this happens, then do that.
You got it. Playbooks are essential for standardizing response procedures. They help teams react quickly and consistently, no matter who's on shift.
Makes perfect sense. But I gotta ask, doesn't it get a little repetitive? Following the same steps over and over again.
That's where things get really futuristic. The training document hints at something called playbook orchestration and automation, and let me tell you, this is next level cybersecurity.
Okay, now you have to explain that one. What in the world is playbook orchestration?
So imagine this. An alert goes off, signaling a potential malware infection on a user's device. Now, in the past, an analyst would have to manually go through a bunch of steps, quarantine the device, run a scan, analyze the threat, and so on.
Well, it's time-consuming.
Very much so. But with playbook orchestration, the whole process can be automated. The system recognizes the threat and automatically triggers the appropriate playbook, which then orchestrates the entire response from start to finish.
So it's like having a super efficient cybersecurity assistant working in the background.
Exactly. It's like magic, but instead of spells, it's code. And instead of a wand, it's a sophisticated software platform.
That is seriously impressive stuff. But it also makes you think, with all this automation, with systems becoming more and more complex, where does that leave the human element?
You've hit on a crucial point. We can build the most advanced cybersecurity systems in the world, but at the end of the day, it's still humans who are designing them, implementing them, and interpreting the results.
And humans make mistakes.
It's inevitable. And that's why, even in the age of AI and automation, the human factor will always be both the greatest strength and the greatest vulnerability in cybersecurity.
That's something to think about.
Yeah.
So next time you're up late scrolling through social media, spare a thought for the blue teams out there, diligently working behind the scenes, making sure your data stays safe and sound.
They are the unsung heroes of the digital age, working tirelessly, even when the rest of the world is fast asleep.
And on that note, we'll sign off for today. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and stay safe in the digital world.
And always remember, in cybersecurity, the learning never stops.